Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do my first real gardening video because I think it's time. We are getting into the real spring season, kind of. I talk about it in a lot of my videos and I don't want to go on and on, but it is still very dark here. So it doesn't really feel like spring, but our grass is basically fully green now. There's still some little patches that we're gonna need to fix up, but for the most part, our grass is green. The trees are getting their leaves, so for all intents and purposes, spring is here. I have been doing some seed starting, and I wanted to start some seeds with you today and just show what I'm doing for the process. I first want to say that this is my first season ever growing food, so none of my garden videos are going to be me giving you tips and instructions, unless it's something that I have learned already along the way. But I am doing a ton of learning from other people, and right now I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing and what I'm learning. So yeah, just know that in advance. A lot of my early houseplant videos were a lot like this, just showing you what I was doing. And now that I've been doing houseplants for a few years, I can give real concrete advice. So I think in a few years I will be more in that place with vegetable gardening and flowers and stuff. But at this point, I'm still very much so learning. So with that being said, I have my seed bank right here. I have a seed starting tray. I bought a few of these at the hardware store earlier in the season when I got all of my seeds. And what else have I been using? Oh, I have a label maker because your girl loves some organization. So I labeled all of these things. I have all the different types of food labeled, and I just, I needed an excuse to buy a label maker, let's be honest. And then I also have a garden log book because I figured it would be important for me to put the date of the day that I started the seeds, all the different types of seeds that I purchased, how much they cost even. I think that it's really interesting looking back at these things when they are super old and seeing how much things cost back in the day. So anyway, today I'm going to be starting my seeds that are good to go outside in 4 to 5 weeks. So I started my seeds that were, what did it say, pre-start 7 to 8 weeks in advance. So I started those a while ago, I think maybe a month or so ago, and now it's time for the next round of seeds. So I'm going to be doing that. I have my my seed substrate over here. I'm using Coco Coir. I'm going to fill up all these little seed pods, and then I will get back to you on what I'm planting right now. Has been finally filled, and I also took the time to pick out all of the seeds that I'm going to sow right now. So I'm going to be doing cantaloupe, watermelon, and then a bunch of herbs. So I have lavender, peppermint, rosemary, and basil. I honestly could have done these herbs the last time I started seeds, but I ran out of time last time and I kind of forgot about it, honestly, so I'm gonna do them now. And then I also have pansies, spinach, and lettuce. Which these three I could direct sow, but especially the lettuce, I could probably go out and plant those right now. But I don't have my garden beds yet, and I don't, I just want to get them started indoors. I've seen other people start them indoors, so it should be fine. But speaking of garden beds, well, okay, first of all, I'm just gonna start planting these. Seed planting is really not that intricate. You just make a little hole and you drop in I don't know, two to three seeds in each hole, and then you cover it up, and then you label it. Make sure you label it just in case, and then yeah, that's it. So anyway, about my garden beds, I was going to build them, and I said in a previous video that we were gonna be turning the barn into a greenhouse, and things have changed because we went out there and we were looking around, and while we think it would probably be okay, the structure, I don't know if it's structurally sound enough. I don't know if we really want to take that risk, especially knowing that a greenhouse will be introducing a lot of moisture into the environment, lots and lots of moisture. It will get very humid in there, and the wood is definitely old. Some of the wood would need to be replaced actually before we did it. And we were kind of thinking is this something that we should do? I don't know. So I'm kind of like looking into other options and seeing if I can get something that is like a greenhouse kit. Instead of DIYing it and DIYing it wrong, I could just buy something that is made for this type of thing, especially since it's my first greenhouse. Like if it was my third or fourth greenhouse, I had done this quite a bit, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. But I feel like since it is my first, I don't know, I should kind of go the quote unquote easy route so that I don't screw anything up and like have the barn come crashing down on my head while I'm in there or whatever. You know, I just feel like it would be smarter to do it this way. Although it isn't as fun and like it would be much smaller, I think it's just smarter. So we're not going to be using the barn as a greenhouse. We're gonna leave it as a barn and probably just use it for like garden storage and stuff, because we are still gonna have the garden beds out there. So it'll just be like a little garden station for me basically, and also Daniel will put his lawnmower and everything else in there. I wrote out cantaloupe on my little sign. Just stick that in there. Since I'm not using the barn as a greenhouse, I can't use the siding for my garden boxes, which is really sad because that would have been like a really, really great option, like to recycle that, and then also like it's free. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. So I'm looking into other options, and Daniel's dad is a farmer, so he has just like a ton of random things around, like galvanized tubs for different things that he does around the farm. So he told us that we could have some of them that he's not using, and so I'll probably use those for like crops, or not crops, I'm not a farmer, you know what I mean, like bundles of plants around. And then also I found someone in my area on Facebook Marketplace who is making garden beds out of cedar for a really, really good price. So this is something that I do know that I can tell you about. If you're planning on making a garden bed, cedar is like the best wood to use. But cedar is extremely, extremely expensive, and it's not something that I really wanted to spend like $1,000 on making my garden beds. So then I thought to myself, okay, well, what if I just did like other wood and then maybe it won't last as long, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I was kind of settling for that. And then I was poking around on Facebook Marketplace, as one does, and I saw that someone was making cedar garden beds for pretty much less than half of what we would pay if we were to make them ourselves, which means that he's probably getting the wood from like a sawmill or something like that. On one hand, Daniel was like, oh yeah, like sawmill, obviously, like we could totally get the wood from there instead and it would be a lot cheaper. And then I was like, but wait, like this guy's making them. It's already made for us and we don't have to make them, which, hey. It sounds a bit lazy, but at the same time, Daniel and I both work full-time jobs. I have an additional job on the side, so I work like 60 hours a week minimum, and also want to start a hobby garden, and also have dogs, and also want to have a social life. So I'm like, maybe it's not so bad if we just outsource this one thing, like we hire someone to make these garden beds, because it'll be a lot cheaper that way, and it'll just be done for us. So it's definitely not a comfortable thing for me to be like, oh, I'll just hire someone to do it. But at the same time, I need to get over it because I can't do everything on my own. Like I cannot DIY every little thing. And realizing that is going to really change my life, I hope. So anyway, we are having that guy make them, and they will be ready in about 2 weeks, which is around the time when I would probably start to put things out. The last frost here is April 11th. Oh my gosh, these seeds are literally minuscule. Peppermint seeds are basically nothing. I'm a little confused. I don't know what is gonna come of this. But if these don't work out, which like right now I'm feeling like they're not gonna work out, I have a ton of peppermint, or it might be spearmint, that's just growing like outside in my yard over here. I have no idea how that happened, but they must have planted mint and then like forgot about it, because mint is very invasive and it will spread like wildfire. So it basically is just like taking over like this part of my yard over here. So if this doesn't work out, like I can transplant some of that and like use that. also give them a little bit of water to just moisten up the soil, and then I'm going to put them under my grow lights, preferably on top of a heat mat if I can figure out where it is. I don't know, I bought another heat mat and I have no idea what I did with it, which sucks. But the other seedlings are not on a heat mat and they're doing fine. I will show you my other seedlings right now. Let's go take a look at those. Okay, so here's my first round of seedlings. We got some tomatoes over here, green beans, broccoli, strawberries that haven't come up. I think I'm just gonna go buy strawberries. Violets, marigolds, snapdragons, poppies, snapdragons again, and carnations. A lot of them have come up, so this is good news. The beans look like they're pretty happy, honestly. Hold on, there we go. The beans look pretty happy. Did I just break that? Oh, geez, I think I just broke that. Classic. Okay, well, we got one bean plant. That sucks. The other ones have not come up. Probably the most exciting part of all of this is the tomatoes and the marigolds, because the marigolds are starting to get leaves that look like marigold leaves. You can see these like spiky ones. So that's fun. But anyway, I'm going to clear out this like top shelf right here and then put in my new seedlings. There they are. Wishing them the best of luck. It's so blurry, sorry. There's a grow light in there as well, which should be very helpful for them. So I will check back in with these in a few weeks. You guys will see the progress on this in a few weeks. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this quick little video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing some seed starting and hearing a little bit more of a garden update. I will definitely be doing more of these in the future because I am so excited about the garden. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.